Building the front-end interface of Spotify was super exciting. As you can see, I love music, so being able to do that and make it responsive, and then using grids, which is quite complicated, but we've learned it in a really understandable way. So that was an amazing experience for me. So I'll remember that forever.
Hi everyone, today we're meeting George, a former Boolean student with a really interesting background. Working alongside software engineers, he developed a curiosity to learn more about software development in general. This curiosity blossomed into a love for coding during his time at Boolean. Let's ask George some questions. So George, it's so great to have you here today. Thank you so much for joining us. Why don't we start with you telling us a little bit more about yourself?
All right, so my name's George. I'm originally from Budapest, Hungary. I've been living in Dublin for a bit more than 10 years now. By trade, I'm a product manager. So I've been managing products like League of Legends at Riot Games, managing the international launch of the game into Eastern Europe. And since then, I built a creative agency back in Budapest called Universum 8. And I created a music startup called Reverse Records. But I was always working with software developers, and I was always interested in how actually they are building those pieces of software that can, think on their own and can create user experiences, move user data from A to B, do some sort of calculations with them, and so on. And I was always so interested.
So you come from a very entrepreneurial background, yet you decided to dive headfirst into software development. What were some of the factors that made you choose Boolean?
Yeah. So the way you guys presented yourself and structured your classes were the biggest factor for me. So the fact that there are live classes as opposed to just video content and you can consume anywhere, I felt like I could have just done that on YouTube. But the fact that you have real teachers presenting to you in real time every day, you have that sort of a cadence to you and schedule to your day, that every morning you wake up. In the morning, you have your live lectures. You can ask teachers anytime. You can have other students asking questions. I think that real life interaction piece is very, very important. And I think that adds a huge piece of value compared to just, checking out YouTube tutorials or any online tutorials. Then also in the afternoon, we would have exercises. We would also get a partner to work together with, so you pretty much never or very rarely work alone, which I really appreciated. And what really sold it for me is I was able to do this full time, in a shorter space of time, while there are other boot camps out there who that focus on you doing this part time, but then it takes a lot longer. So I just wanted to focus on this 100% and just jump into it and do this.
So did the course fulfill your expectations?
Absolutely. I had really high expectations to start with, and it really fulfilled them all. The teachers are all super nice and helpful. You can stop them anytime. I think that's the biggest thing, this element of community and belonging to it, that you can ask questions at any point. There are, you have your peers to ask questions from if you sometimes don't dare to go to teachers, and you can talk to your peers, or your peers can also reach out to you. It's just a really, really nice live online experience, which I was super happy about.
Okay, so if you had to choose just one, what was the favorite part of this journey?
Ah, that's a very interesting question. I think I really enjoyed the whole thing. My favorite part would have been just honestly the community and the connections throughout that I made. So in terms of tech, I really enjoyed, doing HTML, CSS, then playing JavaScript, then React as well. But I think the fact that we could talk to teachers all the time, it was just a really nice, positive experience that I cherished.
So what was the most challenging part of the course for you?
Yeah. Most challenging part, I would say, actually, that was tech-wise, it was React. Like, React is a very interesting way to look at building software. When you look at the browser, it already has functions like entering an address into the bar, or going forward or going backward, or if you fill in a form, you just send data to the server, like it's all already done. But with React, for probably the sake of speed, you kind of recreate all of that in a very interesting way, that you're always still on the same website, but then you just re-render the content of it all the time dynamically with JavaScript, and it finds like which part needs to be re-rendered and just re-renders that part, which for me was quite difficult to wrap my head around first. But again, you have the teachers here to help you. We had extra sessions in the afternoon, apart from the sessions in the morning, which was super helpful. You have your peers there, you know, together with you, and you're kind of learning through that. So it was a really nice experience all the way through.
Talking about teaching, did you feel you received the support you needed throughout the course?
As I said, you very rarely work on your own individually. But then when teachers saw that, okay, there's some issues with React because it's really difficult for us, they organized quite a bit of one-on-one mentoring sessions, extra sessions in the afternoon, like we could ask any questions if there was any topics we didn't understand. I think we had some issues with understanding React router, so we had like extra sessions on that. Teachers also changed the schedule somewhat, like we had our individual and group projects, but we pushed them out a bit just to be able to accommodate spending a bit more time on React as well. So teachers was really flexible and super helpful when it came to us understanding React in a bit more depth, and they really put the time and paid attention to make sure we're all okay on that front. So I really appreciated that.
Interesting. Could you share something that actually surprised you about your Boolean experience?
Ooh, that's a very interesting question. Definitely tech-wise, it's quite an easy answer. And then of course I had no idea about programming and manipulating the DOM, so JavaScript and React were super exciting and interesting to learn. So definitely those things.
And lastly, can you share any advice for someone who's watching this video and is considering joining Boolean?
My advice for someone starting Boolean is that it's a full-time thing, it's a full-time commitment. So if you decide to do it, then really jump in and do it. But it has to be, your motivation and drive has to come from the inside. Like we're not, 6 years old anymore and we need to get a sticker or something because we do well. We will have to do this for our own success. So just try to take away from the course as much as you can, because there's a lot of really good content. Put yourself into it, reach out if you have any questions, because it's a great thing to do, but it's not going to be, holding your hand as if you were in primary school back then, which I think is perfect. Like we're all adults and use, like, just having the option there to help you learn and grow is perfect.
George, thank you so much for joining today and sharing your insights. We'll see you soon. Bye. If you're interested in following in George's footsteps and becoming a software engineer, then consider Boolean's full-time software development course. It'll take you from zero to hero as you learn all the necessary skills to become a software engineer in just 6 months. We'll see you in class.